Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you a 2012 team preview for the Washington Redskins. We're going to start with the offense to see what the Redskins fans can expect in 2012.
The Redskins got their guy in Robert Griffin III, and what he's going to bring to the table is something that they haven't had for a long time, and that's tremendous athletic ability, leadership, and skill set. One of the more accurate passers coming out of college football this season. I think when you put him in this offense, in Shanahan's heavy play action, heavy bootleg, heavy waggle offense, it's just a natural fit. This guy is deadly accurate with the football. He doesn't make mistakes. Oh yeah, by the way, he can get outside the pocket and make plays happen with his legs. What that is going to do for the entire offense is just going to open things up. You're going to see one-on-one coverage downfield. You're going to see more favorable matchups in the passing game. And what people don't understand, when you have a mobile quarterback, what that does, it takes an extra guy out of the box as far as stopping the run. So teams will have to keep a guy at home. That backside defensive end is going to have to stay home. The lineman will be able to get to the second level. The receivers will see more zone coverage as opposed to man, because you don't want to play man against a guy that can move. Otherwise, he'll take off and run. The Redskins essentially solved three issues on offense with the addition of one guy in Robert Griffin III. And yes, he will go through his rookie growing pains, but you have to like the potential, you have to like the upside. He won't make the same bonehead mistakes that you've grown to see from Rex Grossman and company. Once again, the Redskins running game will be promising this year. I think they're going to be able to run the football a little bit more effectively than last year, and that's saying a lot because they did a great job of moving the football on the ground. Why I think they're going to do better this year, you add Robert Griffin III, is like when Michael Vick went to the Falcons, Warwick Dunn had over 1,500 yards. When Vince Young went to the Titans, Chris Johnson rushed for over 2,000 yards. So when you add a mobile quarterback to a backfield and to a running game with talented backs, the running game will improve, and I think that's where the Redskins will be this year. Look for a unit in Helu, Royster, and also getting Tim Hightower back. Look for these guys to be combined top 5 in the league as far as rushing is concerned. That's just going to, again, open up the play action pass and allow these guys, the receivers, more room to operate downfield. But again, 3 talented tailbacks, and also keep an eye on rookie Alfred Morris, another guy that can come in and get some minutes. So the Redskins are well stocked in the backfield. How big did Fred Davis step up last year and help out this passing game? You have to like where he's going. If he can solve his off-the-field issues with the drugs, then he's going to be fine. The Redskins fans really want to see if Chris Kula can return back to form. That's something that we have yet to see with the injuries he had in 2009 and 2011. Can he revert back to 2010? That's going to be a huge addition to the offense. But the receiving core is what I'm looking at as to see drastic improvement. You bring back Santana Moss. This guy, it seems like he doesn't get old. He fought through inconsistencies last year, but they bring over 2 new guys. You look at guys like Pierre Garçon and Josh Morgan. Garçon is a guy that just has deceptive speed. Morgan is a guy that just always gets open and catches the football, very solid receiver. And you have to like that they can operate with a guy in Robert Griffin is going to give them more favorable zone type of coverages where they can settle down and make plays happen after the football is in their hands. And also keep an eye on Leonard Hankinson, a young guy is going to improve in year 2. Niles Paul is a receiver that moved to tight end, so that's some matchup issues right there for opposing defenses. They can improve this year. If they can take the next step and grow with the young quarterback, the Redskins receiving core can be better than it was last season. The offensive line is where I have the biggest question mark for the Washington Redskins. It's not due to talent. It's due to the fact that guys like Jamal Brown and Trent Williams have inconsistencies in either health or playing inconsistencies. Williams is a guy that has some off-the-field issues that he has to get solved. But you look overall, this group has a talent, but if those tackles can't hold up, it's going to be tough for quarterback Robert Griffin III to come in and be effective. Now on the interior, Will Montgomery is a guy that's a very good center, one of my favorite players on this Redskins offensive line. Chris Chester is a guy that's solid, not spectacular, but a solid guy. But keep an eye on 2 rookies, Tom Compton out of South Dakota and Josh Laribas out of SMU. Both guys can see some significant minutes on this Redskins offensive front. One of the more active defensive fronts you see in a 3-4 defense, the Redskins defensive line was able to get pushed and cause a lot of havoc for opposing offenses. Guys like Adam Carricker with 5 sacks. Stephen Bowen came over from the Cowboys, contributed with a career-high 6 sacks. And Nose tackle Barry Cofield does a great job of occupying blockers, freeing up space on the interior for those linebackers like London Fletcher to play downhill, and they get a boost from two depth guys. Jarvis Jenkins is a guy at a defensive end spot that's going to come back from injury, should provide a lot of burst off the edge, a guy that can hold his own in the running game. And also Chris Neal, the backup nose tackle, did a great job last year, got 2 sacks. So not only can you get that push from the interior, you can also get the stoutness that you need on the outside. My favorite group on this Redskins defense has to be the linebacking core. Future Hall of Famer London Fletcher does not get old and still making game-changing plays. And on the outside, you have 2 guys. Ryan Kerrigan was a rookie last year, made a bunch of sacks. Brian Arakpo was another guy's 3rd-year guy. This is going to be his 4th year. Came in, also had 9 sacks last year. So both guys cause a lot of problems on the edge. And when you have the improved defensive front, you're going to see guys like Perry Riley, who had an outstanding year and replaced Rocky McIntosh, and London Fletcher have more opportunities to make plays in the running game. But on the outside, there's no questioning that's the strength of the Redskins team. They can provide pressure on the quarterback. I also have some questions about the Redskins secondary, but say what you want about D'Angelo Hall. All I see is this guy around the football making game-changing plays, always making those crucial interceptions, and also stripping the football. Does a great job of getting the football back for the offense. He plays solid. Josh Wilson is a guy that started to come on as later on in the season, so he has room to improve. And they also bring over Cedric Griffin from the Minnesota Vikings, who some may say is better than Josh Wilson. If so, he starts. If not, at least the Redskins have 3 solid corners. Now, also keep an eye on Chase Minifield, the undrafted rookie free agent out of the University of Virginia. He can also come in and see some time. The question I have is about the safety position. They bring over Tanar Jackson, whom I like a lot, from Tampa. Is going to be an enforcer in the run game and also has some solid coverage skills. But Reed Dowdy is the other safety, and also Brandon Merriweather, who's been inconsistent his whole career. Those are the biggest holes right now in that Redskins defense. So if they can find a way to get that shored up, this can go from a weakness to a strength. Football has been around since the 1800s, and the same statements hold true. If you can run the football and stop the other team from scoring, you're going to win a lot of ball games or be in a lot of ball games. And that's what the Redskins have. Very good defense, and they can run the heck out of the football. What they add into their offense this year is now the ability to possibly pass with some consistency and avoid those mistakes. So that's why you have to like the Redskins' chances coming in this division. They're not that far off. They were 5-11 last year, but this is a team that was literally 3 plays away from going to the playoffs. You have to look at the inconsistencies and the injury concern for that offensive line. That's the concern you have on the offense. On the defensive side of the football, the secondary. Can they avoid giving up the big plays in the passing game? Can guys like Reed Dowdy and Brandon Merriweather step up and play huge football for the Redskins? That's the biggest concerns I have for this team, O-line and the secondary. I think the Redskins finished tied for 4th in the NFC East, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have a losing record. Remember, they were 5-11 last year, 3 or 4 plays away from being 8-8. So this is a team that can contend in that division. They match up very well with the Giants. They can beat the Cowboys. The Eagles give them a matchup nightmare, but I think overall the Redskins can improve if they get that offensive line up to par, and if the secondary avoids giving up the big plays. The defense will be there, will be solid. The running game will be there, and Robert Griffin III, I have full confidence, will get better as the season progresses and lead this team, this offense, in the right direction.